In an industry full of bullshit and gimmicky labels and names, one that's gotten more popular and more traction recently in the industry is powerbuilding. What is going on, guys? It's your boy NerdTaku, back with a new video. First video on this channel, and this is basically just gonna be a fitness channel. We're gonna be tracking my powerlifting journey, but I wish to compete in the 83 kg weight class against Russel Orhii, who actually got me into powerlifting. So that's just a quick background on myself and who I am. But a quick background on this topic of quote-unquote power building. The fitness industry is made up of two categories of lifters: bodybuilders, whose goals are aesthetics and maximum muscle growth. They work in the higher rep range, usually maybe 8 to 15 rep, maybe going up to 25 to 30 maybe. The goal is stuff like mind muscle connection, getting the pump, getting blood into the muscle. That's the key concepts. On the other hand, we have powerlifters, whose goal is, their only goal is max strength. Lifting the most weight possible is your main goal. They work in the lower rep ranges, usually about maybe 1 to 5, but they might go as high as 8 on maybe accessory work or on lighter days. The goal is to maximize your leverage to move the most weight on the three main lifts: the squat, bench, and the deadlift. So good squat leverages might be short levers and maybe short torso. For the deadlift, good leverages are something like long arms and short legs. So long arms and short legs, you can reach the bar. You only have to bend over a small amount to reach the bar, as compared to someone who has shorter arms or someone who has longer legs, right? And they will do whatever it takes to lift the most loads, optimizing technique, reducing range of motion, seen by maybe a wide stance squatting or a very big arch in the bench press, or maybe choosing sumo over conventional. Though the differences in range of motion between the two is not too much, and they also do stuff like hitting the lifts frequently. So powerlifters train movement patterns, while bodybuilders train muscles. So when you're new into the fitness industry, you're often presented with a conundrum. You want to be jacked to impress people, but you also want to be strong and lift heavy weights. Like, who wouldn't want to be big and strong? But then you get told that you have to choose one. You have to pick your poison: bodybuilding or powerlifting. And then the topic of power building was born, a magical concept where you could build muscle and gain strength at the same time. And so power building was created, a revolutionary quote-unquote concept that offers the best of both worlds. Not only would you look strong, you would actually be strong. But is power building really a new concept? I would disagree. I think power building is really just powerlifting repackaged. So typically it goes something like this: doing one of the big three, like at the beginning of your workout for low reps, heavy weight, and then doing some bodybuilding works afterwards, right? So maybe a typical powerbuilding workout will be something like a barbell bench press, do a 3x3 with maybe 80% to 85% of our round rep max, RPE maybe 7 to 8, and then afterwards you do a chest and tricep bodybuilding program. So you do flat dumbbell press, incline press, cable flies, weighted dips, and maybe some tricep extensions at the end, right? So that's a typical power building quote-unquote workout. But then you look back and realize, isn't that just proper powerlifting? But then, well, isn't powerlifting just lifting heavy? Yes, but the best powerlifters have bodybuilder-like physiques. For example, Russel Orhii, look at him, absurd amounts of muscle. Some people think he can be a competitive bodybuilder. The question though we have to ask is, why? Well, we first need to understand how strength works. When the lifter starts working out, they don't actually gain muscle in the first couple weeks. Your gains in strength is really neurologically driven. You're getting more proficient at the movement pattern, you're improving technique over time. But after that, to gain more strength, you have to gain muscle. So the best powerlifters are usually the ones with the most amount of muscle in their weight class. Case in point, again, Russel Orhii. Or you can look at someone like Atwood, who has an absurd amount of muscle for his frame, dominating the 74 kg weight class. Look at guys like Larry Wills. Larry Wills has actually competed in bodybuilding. Look at guys like Ashton Ruska. They could all pass off as bodybuilders. If you take two people, the one with the biggest chest, with all other things being equal in terms of leverages and weight, will have the bigger bench, right? Studies have shown numerous times that increased pec size has been correlated with increased bench press strength. So really, powerlifting is a context of how you display your strength. But to gain the strength, you have to build muscles. So powerlifting powerlifters don't do 3x3s and then go home, unless it's maybe during meet prep where they have to be a bit more specific and put a lot more energy into the powerlifting portion. Because once you get closer to a meet, maybe about 12 weeks out, then you have to start cutting out volume and be more specific, so you can be specific to what you're going to do at the meet, which is a big 3. But all other times besides meet prep, powerlifters are essentially bodybuilders, because really they do the big lift and then they do much more accessories. So they could do 1 to 2 of the big 3 and then do some bodybuilding workouts after that. Powerlifters will usually do their competition lifts of the day and then do accessories for that movement, usually using higher rep ranges to assist the actual movers. Powerlifters will usually do their competition lift for the day and then do accessories for that movement, usually using higher rep range to assist the actual lift by building muscle in the primary movers of the lift. So usually, like we said, something like maybe the squat, for example, since I've made an example of the bench press, a squat power building workout would be something like squats, maybe a 3x5 on a maybe higher volume day for a powerlifter, and then leg press, leg extensions, maybe throwing some glute work here or there, maybe Bulgarian split squats, hamstring curl. That would be a power building squat workout. But really, it's just powerlifting. So on a bench day, a powerlifter will maybe do something like a 3x3 on competition pause the bench, and then do some incline press to add more muscle to the chest, some back work to give a solid base, and some tricep isolations to help with getting tricep muscle, which will translate to lockout strength. So is power building really some revolutionary training method? Well, no, not really. It's just powerlifting with the required accessories to give long-term strength gain. Minimalist powerlifting protocols will eventually plateau because neurological adaptation can only get you so far. You need to add muscle to the primary movers of the lifts to get stronger. I'll leave you with this quote that I like to tell people whenever I'm trying to explain how muscle gain and strength gain are related. Progressive overload might actually be the evidence of hypertrophy, not the driver of it. So let's say you do a bench press, you do a 3x8 with, let's say, 100 kgs, 225, 3x8 to 225. The next week you can now do a 3x10 for 225, or you can do 3x8 with 230 pounds. The action that you've been able to add reps or maybe add weight shows that you've gained muscle, because that's the only possible way for you to have gained more strength or be able to do more reps. You've actually gained muscle. So progressive overload might actually be the evidence of hypertrophy and not the driver of it. So quick summary, power building is really just powerlifting. The only thing that makes it seem new is that there's been a misconception that powerlifters just do the competition lift and they leave the gym. I can promise you now, no good powerlifter at the elite level, or just any decent powerlifter, is just doing the competition lift and leaving the gym. Maybe closer to a few weeks to the meet, but most of the time they'll do the comp lift and then they'll do exercises to assist the comp lift and to build muscle in the primary movers of the competition lift. So really, power building is not a new concept, it's really just powerlifting repackaged. Thanks for watching the video. If you liked anything I talked about here, or you would need more clarification on the topic, comment it down below and I will be sure to get back to you as soon as possible. So this is NerdTaku signing out. Peace.